You're standing on a hotel balcony. The view is perfect. The city sprawls below. And then, out of nowhere, a thought slices through the calm. What if I just stepped off? Your heart thuds. Your hands grip the railing. You're not depressed. You've never been suicidal. But the thought is so vivid, so intrusive, it feels like your own brain just turned against you. You step back, disturbed, and try to forget it. But the real answer is far stranger. That terrifying whisper isn't a hidden death wish. It's a survival instinct so ancient, so poorly calibrated for the modern world, that it's accidentally trying to save your life by telling you to jump. Your brain is a museum of old wiring. Deep in its basement is a threat detection system that evolved when the tallest thing our ancestors climbed was a tree, and the deadliest threat was a predator, not a 100-foot drop. This system has one job: keep you away from edges. But here's the glitch. When you approach a high place, your brain's fear circuits fire instantly, screaming danger. Before your conscious mind even processes the view, your body reacts. You might feel a jolt, a tightening in your chest, a subtle lean backward. All perfectly normal. But then your rational brain catches up. It looks around, sees the safety railing, the solid floor, the beautiful skyline. It sends a conflicting message. Wait, there's no threat, we're safe. That mismatch between your fast, unconscious fear and your slower conscious awareness creates a cognitive chaos that your brain has to resolve. And it does so in the most absurd way possible. It invents a narrative. It whispers, "You must have wanted to jump. That's why you felt scared." Your brain mistakes the fear of the edge for a desire to leap, turning a safety signal into a terrifying urge. Scientists call this the high place phenomenon. In 2012, psychologist Jennifer Hames and her colleagues at Florida State University gave it a more poetic name, the call of the void. They surveyed hundreds of people and found that over half had experienced a sudden, unexpected impulse to jump from a high place, even though they had no suicidal thoughts. At first glance, it looks like a death wish. But Hames's team dug deeper. They found that people who felt the call of the void also scored higher on measures of anxiety sensitivity, a trait where you're unusually attuned to your own bodily sensations. Your heart races, you feel a little dizzy, and you interpret that as proof that something is horribly wrong. That misinterpretation is the key. Your ancient fear system notices the height, floods your body with alert signals, and then your anxious brain overreacts to those signals. It seizes on the most dramatic explanation. You must secretly want to die, but you don't. Your brain is just reading its own panic as a plan. To understand why, you have to rewind a few million years. Imagine your ancestor walking along a cliff edge on the savannah. The visual cliff is real, the danger immediate. The brain's amygdala fires an alarm before you even consciously see the drop. That fast, unconscious process triggers an automatic withdrawal reflex, a step back, a freeze response. That saved lives. But here's what makes the high place phenomenon so bizarre. In the modern world, that reflex often gets delayed by fascination or awe. You lean on the railing, soaking in the view, overriding the withdrawal reflex just long enough for your conscious brain to catch up and realize you're safe. Now you've got two competing signals, the primal scream of "get back" and the calm assessment of "it's just a glass balcony." The brain can't hold that paradox, so it generates an intention. If I felt a danger signal and I'm still here, then the danger must be me. I must be the one thinking about jumping. It's a classic post hoc rationalization, the same mental shortcut that makes you flinch at a stick that looks like a snake, and then feel embarrassed for a split second before you realize it's harmless. Only this time, the misread is so appalling it shakes your sense of who you are. This isn't just armchair theorizing. Neuroimaging studies have traced the exact circuits involved. When you stand near a high drop, your anterior insula and amygdala light up like warning beacons. The insula processes your interoceptive signals, the queasy stomach, the sweaty palms, and the amygdala tags the whole experience with fear. Meanwhile, Your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that knows about engineering and safety glass, is trying to chill everyone out. But the connection between those ancient fear hubs and your conscious decision making is messy. In a 2016 study, researchers found that people with stronger insular reactivity were more likely to report the call of the void. Their brains were simply screaming louder, and your conscious mind, caught in the crossfire, misattributes that visceral scream as a command. What's even stranger is that this misfire isn't limited to heights. It shows up whenever your survival instincts misinterpret a perfectly safe situation. Have you ever stood on a train platform and felt a fleeting, absurd pull to step onto the tracks as the train approached? That's the same glitch. Your brain's fear of being hit generates such a strong avoidance signal that your conscious mind spins it into an urge to do the opposite. Or consider the impulse to jerk the steering wheel into oncoming traffic on a dark highway. Psychologists call these intrusive thoughts ego-dystonic, meaning they're completely at odds with your actual desires. They're your threat detection system running a simulation, a kind of ancient fire drill. Your brain imagines the worst possible scenario to rehearse avoidance, but because the simulation is so vivid, it feels like a sudden desire. That's why the call of the void is actually a sign that your survival instincts are firing correctly. The more terrified you are of the edge, the more your brain screams danger. The more likely you are to misinterpret that scream as a twisted wish. But the fear is the proof you want to live. It's evidence of a finely tuned, hyper-vigilant safety system that would rather embarrass you with a terrifying thought than let you accidentally stumble off a cliff. There's a profound irony here. Your ancient brain, built to keep you alive in a treacherous world, is now so overprotective that it invents threats where none exist and then blames you for them. It's like a smoke detector that goes off every time you make toast, and then tells you, you must really want the house to burn down. That's the high place phenomenon in a nutshell. Your brain detects a whiff of danger, hits the alarm, and when you don't immediately flee, it assumes you're staying because you're curious. But you're not. You're just a primate with a neocortex trying to enjoy a skyline, trapped between a primal scream and a rational observation, the two signals colliding into that eerie whisper. So the next time you're on a balcony and feel that sudden jolt, don't panic and don't question your sanity. Recognize it for what it is: your Stone Age survival gear, still working overtime, misreading a glass railing as a predator, and then making up a story to explain its own false alarm. That unsettling urge isn't a death wish. It's the sound of your brain trying to save you, thousands of years out of date, but still fighting like hell to keep you safe from the edge, even when the only real danger is the story it just told you about yourself.